Hey guys, my name is Hogan and welcome to this tutorial where I'm going to be showing you how to create a website step by step. So this video is a little bit different from the tutorials that I've normally created in the past, and it's also different from other videos as well. So normally when you actually have to build a website, you normally have to buy software, you normally have to purchase your hosting and a domain name before you can actually start building. But in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to start completely for free. So you can build your website, you can practice, make sure it is 100% what you want, and then I'll show you actually how to take it online. Okay, so anyone can actually view your website from all around the world. So in a few minutes, I'll be going through exactly how to actually get set up and actually how to actually build your website step by step. So this tutorial is for absolute beginners. You don't actually need to know anything to do with programming, or you don't need to have any experience. You can be 15 or 55. It doesn't really matter how old you are, because I'm going to be actually showing you step by step in the computer. Basically, you just have to follow exactly what I do and you'll have a really nice and mobile responsive website. So this video is quite long, so you might need to be a little bit patient, but I really think it's worth it because I'm going to be going through all the steps to actually build like a $3,000 website. So you can also speed up the video if I'm going too slow. You can also slow it down if I am going too fast by clicking on the settings gear icon on the video. And I've also listed everything down in the description below. So you can come back to the video and you can rewatch certain parts. You can skip to certain parts. It's really up to you how you use this video. But this video is perfect for anyone who wants to actually build a website. Okay, basically I think that's it. If you have any questions, make sure to drop it down below in the comment section, and I normally will get back to you within 24 hours. So I'm here to help you guys to build your website, and hopefully you're gonna really enjoy the process as well. So without much further ado, maybe grab a tea or a coffee or water if that's what you drink, and we're gonna get started by jumping into the screen. Okay, so open up your browser, and here we're going to type into Google. We're going to type Bitnami, so BITNAMI space, and then type in WordPress, so WORDPRESS. Hit on enter, and we're going to click onto the first result here. Alright, so we're going to install WordPress onto our local PC or Mac computer, and that's going to allow us to build our website. Okay, so WordPress is actually used by 30% of the internet. Okay, so I use WordPress as well. A lot of top companies such as Forbes, CNN, TechCrunch, they also use WordPress to build their websites. Okay, so WordPress allows us to build it without code, so it's going to be super easy. So here you can actually click on the Win, Mac, and Linux. Okay, and that's going to take you to this page here. Scroll down and we're going to download the installers, right? So if you're using Windows, then you have to download the Windows one. If you're using Mac, then download Mac. Okay, so I'm going to use this one here, and I'm just going to go no thanks, take me to the download. Okay, so we're going to save that onto our desktop, and that might take a minute or two depending on your download speeds. All right, so once that's finished downloading, then we're going to open the file. So I'm going to click on the file and open that. Okay, so just double click to install it, and it should be pretty similar for your Windows computer, so make sure you install that onto your computer. Okay, and then this will pop up. Click on OK, click on next, make sure these three are checked, click on next. And here is where the folder is going to be saved, right? So what I do recommend is clicking here on the right and saving it on your desktop. Okay, so you can actually create a new folder by clicking on the left here. Okay, so this might be just called WordPress, create, okay, and then click on open. Okay, so that's going to create a new folder on your desktop. Okay, so if you can't find that new folder thing, then just right click your desktop and set up a new folder and save it there. Okay, click on next. Here put in your real name, so Hogan Chua. Make sure to put in your real email address as well. Okay, and your login details. So I'm going to put in my name and a password. Okay. So make sure to remember your login details and also your password, and make sure to put in a real email. Okay. And then click on next. Here is going to be your blog's name. So I'm just going to name it logo, but you can change this later on. Click on next. Here we're going to just leave that as is. Next. And I'm not going to launch it on the cloud, so I'm going to deselect that. Click on next, and then click on next to actually install. So that's going to take a few minutes to install that onto your computer. So I'll come back in a second. All right, so after a few minutes, that is done. And what we're going to do is make sure we're going to launch it. All right, so select that and then click on finish. All right, so anytime that you actually want to access your WordPress website, then you'll need to go to this address. All right, and then here you can click on access WordPress, and that's going to take you to your WordPress website where we can actually start to log into our website. All right, so if you actually, let's say you turn off your computer, this program will be off. All right, so when this program is off, then these programs here is going to actually stop running. Right, so if we actually, let's say we stop all of these. Okay, so this is what happens when you have turned off your computer, okay, and the program is not running. Then this website here, if we click on enter, it's not going to actually show up, right? So every time you actually want to launch your WordPress website and start building a website on your computer, you got to make sure that this program here is running, right? So you can go back to the folder, right? So let's just close that. So if you open that folder, then if you double click manager -OS X, then that's going to open this up here. And then you want to make sure that for the managed servers, that the servers are actually on. All right, so you can click on start all, and that's going to start it up. And only when they are actually all running, then you can actually access your WordPress website. Okay, so let's click on refresh, and that is up. Okay, so to actually log into your website, you can type in wp-admin, and that's going to take you to the login dashboard. All right, so here you need to enter in the username and the password that you put in before, and then log in. So we're going to close this. Okay, update that. So what you're going to notice is that here you actually don't see like, yourname.com. Okay, so right now we're building the website on our local computers, right? It's not actually online, so people can't actually see that yet, right? So after when we finish building the website, I'm going to show you how to take it online. So I'm going to show you how to get your domain name, which is your website address, and also get a hosting account so you can actually transfer this website onto a live website that people can actually view all around the world 24/7. So don't worry about this now, okay? So just pretend this is like yourwebsite.com. We're gonna actually start building right now. All right, so this is your WordPress dashboard, or the back end of your dashboard area. And here you can actually visit the site, and the front end is like this, right? So we're gonna go back here and we're gonna configure some basic settings, okay? So what we're gonna do is hover over settings and then click on permalinks. And what we want to do is change the permalink structure to post name. Okay, so this is good for search engine purposes. All right, so just change that there so that when you actually create pages, you'll actually have the page name in the URL of your websites. Okay, so you don't want something like this, $p=123. You want to have the name of the page or the post in the URL. Okay, scroll down and save changes. All right, so once that is done, then what we're going to do is we're going to hover over appearance and click on themes. Click on add new. Okay, so here you'll find, thousands of different free themes that you can actually use to actually, build your blog or build your website. So what I do recommend, and the theme that I use, is in the actual description. So make sure you download that theme. Okay, that theme is called Themify Ultra. And once you actually download that onto your computer, it's going to look something like this, themify-ultra.zip, right? If it actually turns into a folder, what I want you to do is right click and compress it back into the zip file. Okay, so here you need to upload the theme, choose file, and we're going to install the theme here. Okay, Themify Ultra.zip, and then click on install now. And then click on activate. Okay, for the skins and demos, we're gonna click on the cross here. And then if we actually view the website right now and refresh it, then the appearance has changed. So the theme is basically the look of the website, and it also includes a drag and drop builder. So we can actually build the website without any code, and it's gonna be really easy, okay? So if we actually go back here, what I'm gonna show you now is how to add in some pages, right? So click on pages. And right now, by default, there is two draft pages or sample pages. We're going to select this top one here, and we're going to move them to the trash first. Okay, click on the trash here, and we're going to delete it. All right, so we're going to delete it permanently. And then next, we're going to click on Add New. And the first page we're going to create is our home page. All right, so we can type in home on the top here. And then we're going to click on publish. So you can create as many pages as you want, like for example your about pages, your contact pages, your different service pages, or anything like that. But for now, we're going to create just the home page. All right, so once we've created the home page, if we actually go back here and to refresh the page, you'll see the home page here, right? And if you actually click on that home page, so it actually takes us to the actual home page. But what we want to do is, for this home page, we want to set it to be just our domain front page. So I'm not quite sure if you actually understand what we're going to do, but if we actually do it, then you probably understand. So we're going to click on customize first. And then what we're going to do is click on the back here, and then click on homepage settings, set a static page. For our home page, we're going to select home, okay? And then click on publish, and then close that, right? So if we actually click on the home page now, then it's just going to be basically our domain URL. So it will be yourname.com, right? That's what we want, okay? So right now, I'm going to show you how to configure the settings, the basic theme settings. For example, if you want to change the header section, or if you want to change the footer section, I'm going to show you where you can do that. So I'm going to close that one for now. Let's head back to our dashboard. And you can go to Themify Ultra and Themify Settings. And what we want to do is we want to look for the theme settings and click on theme appearance. So here is where you can actually change to different header designs and also different footer designs, right? So what I generally like to do is open a new tab up so we can see what we're doing, right? So here we've got the default header, right? I want to select maybe the header top bar, okay? And then click on save. And then if we go back here and refresh that, then you'll see that the header design is just a nice and simple header design, okay? So I really like that, and I'm going to keep that. But what I want to do is I want to remove the text here, okay, which is the site tagline, the RSS icon, and also the search bar, okay? So we're going to go back here to theme settings, and then we want to exclude the site tagline, exclude the search, and exclude the RSS. So you can keep those if you want to. You can play around with the settings later, okay? But these are the settings that I want. So we're going to click on save. And then once that is done, you refresh that, then it should be gone, okay? Now, the next thing that we want to do is we want to make sure that we have a blank page so we can build our website. Right now, there's like a title here, and then there's a sidebar here, but we don't want that, right? We want to have a clean and blank canvas so we can build out any website we want. We don't want this stuff here, right? So to do that, go back here, click on default layouts, okay? Because that's a page, we're going to click on default page layout. And for the page sidebar, we want to select no sidebar, okay? Save it. And then if we refresh it, then the sidebar is going to disappear, but we still want to remove the title. So go back and hide title, okay? I also want to remove the page comments if there is any, okay? And then save. refresh that page, and we're pretty much good to go. All right. So now we have a blank canvas to build our website. We can actually, let's say we can turn on the builder, and then here you're going to notice a purple line and also a orange line. All right. So the orange line represents the columns. The purple line represents the rows. So the rows go from left to right, columns go, up to down, right? Or down to up. So here you can actually set, however many columns you want. For example, 2 columns like that. You can also select, 3 columns. But the cool thing is you can actually readjust the columns. Like for example, just drag it and, just move it across like that. All right. So for me, we're going to click on that one there. All right. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating a demo website, which looks like this. So I'm going to go to blue demo 123. So this is the demo website that we're going to be creating. It's just a really, really simple designed website, and basically gives a good sort of overview of how to actually use the builder. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to create an image, add some text, learn how to add in the button, and things like that. So we're going to go back here to our website. Okay, so what we need first is an image, right? So to get an image, what I recommend is going to unsplash.com. Okay, so you can scroll down here, and there are a ton of high quality images that you can use for your website, and you don't have to credit the people. But what I do like to look for is a sort of a landscape image where I can put text over, something like this. You want to scroll down and pick a really nice image that sort of relates to your business. Okay, so this one is pretty good here, but I've already found one before, and I think the photographer was Adam. Let's just type in the name. Okay. So this is the photographer, and the image that I want is this one here. Okay, so to download it, just click on the download icon and download that onto your computer or a folder. Okay, so we're going to click on save. And once you've got that image, then what you're going to notice is that that image is actually quite large, right? So if you actually want to follow along exactly with the tutorial, then click on the download link for the images, and I've included all the images that we're going to be using in the tutorial. So it's going to be a lot easier if you do download it and follow along. All right, so this is the image, and if we actually get the information right, you'll notice that the image is like quite large, like 2.6 megabytes. That's too big to just upload onto our website. Otherwise it's going to load really slowly, right? So what we actually need to do is to crop the image first. So what I recommend is going to a website called photo.com, and you can use Photoshop or any other software that you use, but you can use this software for free, so it's pretty cool. Click on edit, and then what we're going to do is upload the image and crop it, right? So click on open, computer. Okay, find the image, which is this one here, open. All right, so here we're going to click on resize. Okay, so you're going to notice the size of the image here, 4,000 times 2,246. We want to make sure the lock icon is closed like that. Okay, so if we type in 1,600, then you'll notice that the size here changes as well. Okay, so what I want to do is change it to 1,602. All right, and then this one is 900 in height. Click on apply, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to crop it. Okay, I'm going to try and crop it to 1,600. Okay, keep it as 900 here. You can also move it up and down like that. Okay, if the image is a lot bigger. Click on apply, and then the size of the image is here. Okay, that's the final size, and then click on save, and then you can name this image like a hero image. Okay, save it as normal. I think you might need to actually log into your Facebook to download it, so log into your Facebook or create an account, and then download that, and then save it into your images folder. Okay, and once you've done that, come back to your website, and then I'm gonna close that and then to upload that image, what I want you to do is hover over the purple, okay? Hover over the gear icon, and we're gonna do a full width image. So we're gonna select full width, okay? So that goes all the way across, right? And then you can click on styling, click on background, and for the background image, we can click on browse library. All right, so don't click on upload, otherwise it might automatically crop the image, and sometimes the WordPress, it crops it to be like really small, so it's going to be like blurry and stuff like that. So click on browse library, select files, and then upload that image. All right, so once you've done that, insert file URL. For the background mode, select either full cover or parallax. I'm going to select full cover, and then once that is done, we want to sort of add some spacing so we can actually see that image. So scroll down and then click on padding. So padding is basically like another word for spacing. All right, so we want to click on this sort of link icon, okay, and then we're going to type in maybe 15% to the top, okay, so 15% space to the top, and maybe the same for the bottom, so 15% for the bottom. All right, so if you want to stretch it further, you can also just click on it and sort of drag it up like that. So if you do 20% like that, 20% for the bottom. Okay, so we're going to leave it as that because we're going to add in some text and that's going to stretch it further. All right. So what you can actually do, you can also add in, gradients, selecting different colors here. You can also add in a video as well. So what I do recommend is uploading the video that you want onto YouTube, because that's going to load the video a lot quicker since it's loading on the YouTube servers, right? So let's just say if you like this video here, you can copy the URL and you can paste it into there. Okay, and then hopefully that's gonna actually start loading. But I think because the website's on our local server, it doesn't actually load. But once we actually transfer it onto a live server, then the video background will actually start playing. Okay, so we're going to just delete that for now. And then we're gonna just put in the image for now, right? Click on done. And then we're gonna add in some text. So hover over the green icon and let's drop in a text module. And here we're gonna type in maybe welcome. Okay, so the text is on the left, you probably can't really see it. So we're gonna highlight the text and set it to heading 1. So what I do recommend is only having one heading 1 tag, all right? So if you actually click on the text here, this is the heading 1 tag. Make sure to only have one per page, all right? So this is for search engine optimization purposes, but I'm not really going to cover that in this video. I actually have another video which talks about SEO and stuff like that, so you can also check that out on my channel as well. So if you actually want to change the color, go to styling, go to font, change the font color here to white, okay, so that makes it a little bit more visible. You can also text the line to the center, just like that. Okay, and you can also click on heading 1 font. Okay, so we've actually set this to heading 1. All right, so if you go to styling, heading 1, you can change the size to, let's say, 100 pixels. Okay, and then click on done. All right, so that's really simple. Now, if you actually want to add in another text module, you can hover over here. You can also click on the lock. Okay, so that's going to lock it there. So it's going to always be on the left, right? You can drag in another text module like that. And we could do like, actually, I'm just going to copy it from this demo website. So find all our latest travel stories and adventures here. So when you're actually pasting in text from another website, you want to right click and you want to click on paste and match style, or paste as plain text. Okay, because you don't want to copy over the styling, right? So here you can click on styling, font, let's change that to white again. Okay, so that's visible. And maybe let's change the font size to 24. Okay, or let's do 20. And then we're gonna text align it to the center like that. Okay, click on done. And that's looking pretty good, right? So the next thing we wanna do is we're gonna add in a button. So let's look for beef button and drop one into there. So you can select the button size. Okay, so I'm gonna keep it as default and I'm gonna scroll down here. For the button text, I'm gonna put it to be like our story. Okay, so you can link it anywhere you like, right? So when someone actually clicks on that button, it's going to link to whatever link you put into here. So let's just say you are linking it to Google, all right? So you do like https://google.com. That link is going to link to Google, right? And let's say if you want to link it to this YouTube, right? You would copy the URL and then you would paste YouTube into here, all right? So once that is done, then once someone clicks on it, it's going to directly go to that thing, all right? So what I'm going to do here instead is I'm going to link it to a different section of my website. So I'm going to actually put in #about. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to actually link it. Click on the black one. Okay, so you can change the color here. I'm going to select the black one. You can also insert an icon. If you actually want to change to a custom color, go to styling, button link, and you can change the background color and the hover over color as well. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it as default and we're going to click on done. Okay, so I might actually need to double click that and move that into the center. So styling, font, and move that into the middle. All right, click on done. So what I do recommend right now is not to play around with the colors and styling so much, because I'm going to be going through that later. And I think that's a really important part as well, because otherwise your website's going to look sort of messy. Okay, so I'm going to go through the colors and where you can change the colors for everything, right? So what you're going to notice is you can actually click on the preview and you're going to notice that there is some white space there. So we're going to remove that. So to do that, you can click on the back end and you want to scroll down to Themify custom panel, page options, content width to be full width. All right. Click on update. And once that is done, you can click on view page and the spacing is gone. All right. So that was pretty easy, right? For our hero image homepage, that is pretty cool. So the next part we're going to do is we're going to create our small little about section. So this could be about yourself, about the company, or just a little bit about your website. Okay, so we're going to go back here, turn on the builder. And what we want to do is, I'm going to deselect that actually, okay, because that keeps popping up. We're going to do 2 columns. So we might do this one here, the last one. All right, and in the first column, we're going to drop in an image module. So just drop that in. And here you can select the different image layouts basically. And here we're going to input a image URL. So we're going to delete that, click on Browse Library, Upload Files, select Files. And here I've already cropped an image. Okay, so click on the About Me.jpg, click on Open, and then Insert File URL. Okay, so the size that I cropped it to is about 400 in width times 267. Insert that in there. You can also play around with the different image appearance like that. Okay, so I think that's pretty cool. You can do that. I'm going to leave everything just as is and then click on done. All right, so we're going to drop in a text module. So drop in a text into there. So for the title, you might do like about me or about the company or something like that. Okay, so here I'm going to put in the heading 2 text. Okay, and then here I'm going to click on enter and I'm going to grab some text from my demo website. Okay, you can also go to a website called Lorem Ipsum. Okay, and just grab some random text that you can actually just paste into your website. So generate Lorem Ipsum, and let's say you want to paste in some random text for now. So paste that into there, something like that. I might paste in maybe like another line or something like that. So just copy that and paste it into there. Click on done, and I think that is good enough. Okay, so what I want to do is add some spacing, right? Otherwise it's just way too close to the hero image. So to do that, we're going to add some spacing to the row. So you can double click on this white space here, and that's going to take you to the row options. Click on styling and click on padding. Click on the link icon, and then I'm going to add 5% to the top and 5% to the bottom, just like that. All right, and once that is done, you can click on done. And what I like to do is I want to make sure that image is also aligned with the text here, right? So to do that, you can hover over the purple again and select the middle column alignment. Okay, so it's going to align the text to the image and it just looks a lot better like that. All right. So what you can also do is you can also change the size of the columns by clicking the column line and sort of dragging it like that. Okay. So you can play around with that. I'm just going to leave it just like that. Right. So for the next section, we're going to do the services section. Right. So the first thing that we want to do for the services section is to actually add in a background color. Right. So we're going to go over here to styling and click on background. And the background color that I want to put in is F6, F6, F6. So it's a really light and subtle gray. Right. So why do we actually do that? The reason why we do that is because we want to sort of separate each of the different sections of the website, right? You don't want to just have one huge block of, a white background and the sections don't look like they're separated, right? So if you actually, let's say we go to, apple.com, right? And if we actually click on one of the pages, you'll see that each of the different sections is separated, right? So here they've got, I think, either a white background or a really light gray, and then they separate it with this dark or black background, okay? Everything is separated really nicely, okay? So everything is separated. That's white, that's a really light gray. It's not just all white, right? So if you scroll down here, they're separated with a background image as well, okay? And that's what we want to do for our website, and it makes it look really good. So the next thing we want to do is maybe drop in a text module, and we're going to label it services, all right? Set it to heading 2, and then click on done. All right, so once we've done that, then we want to add in some featured modules. So hover over here, let's look for feature, drop it below there. Here, let's just say you offer web design, okay? And we're going to add some text. I'm just going to grab some lorem ipsum text, paste that into there, just like that. And you can also select the different layout. I'm going to remove the circle, so I'm just going to delete it. Okay, and maybe delete the strokes as well. Also, I might delete the color. So select it and delete it. The size, I'm going to change it to medium. Okay, and for web design, I might change it to a different icon. So click on insert icon, and we're going to select maybe something to do with design. Okay, so let's have a look. Maybe this one might be okay. Web designer computer. Okay. So here you can also change the color of the logo. So what I do recommend is just leaving it as this, okay, nice and neutral. You don't want it to stand out too much, you know what I mean? So we're going to keep it as neutral and delete that. You can also link it to a specific page that you've created or a external page, like if you want to link it to Apple. So if you link that here, then when people click into that, then it's going to link to Apple's website. All right, so I'm gonna just delete it for now, and then we're gonna click on done. All right, so let's just say I want to create 3 different sections, 3 different feature modules. So to do that, I sort of want to have 3 rows, right? So what you can do is hover over the green here and click on rows, and I'm gonna select this one here. Okay, click it and drag it and put it below services. Once you've done that, then drag the featured module, click on it, and put it into one of those columns, just like that, okay? And then to actually create another one, then you can actually hover over the blue and duplicate it 2 times, all right? And then just drag it and put it into here like that, all right? So to change it, you can double click, and perhaps this one might be, free tutorials. Okay, and maybe you scroll down here, you probably want to change the icon. So insert icon, let's look for a play button or something like that. I think this one might be okay. Okay, and then double click on the 3rd one. Okay, let's double click again. Here, this one might be maybe 24/7 support. Okay, and we're going to scroll down here. We're going to change the icon to, I think, user, like that. Okay, and then click on done. So what you can also do is, instead of actually just, double clicking the module here and styling, clicking the font and aligning this to the center, what you can actually do is you can actually double click the row, go to styling, font, and text align to the center. So that's going to align everything within the row into the center, right? So we're going to click on done. So what that means is if I actually move the text, down to a new row, then it's not going to be in the center anymore. But if we move it back here, hopefully if I can move it back, actually what I can do is we can actually undo. So click on undo, okay? And that's going to, bring you back where you were before, right? Double click the row and go to styling, padding, click on the link icon. Let's add 5% to the top, 5% to the bottom. Click on done. And I might want to add some space here, okay, below services. So double click the text module, styling, padding, click on the link, and we're going to add some padding to the bottom of that text module. Okay, so padding, you're going to be using it pretty much all the time when you're actually building layouts, because you're going to probably need to add spacing to everything to make it look good. All right, and that is that section done. So you can click on save. Now the next section that we're going to create is the gallery section. So we're going to create the gallery section so you can actually showcase your work in a lightbox, or you can add in a slider as well, or anything like that. So here what we're going to do is let's drop in a text module, click on modules. Let's drop in a text module here. Let's label it gallery. Let's set it to heading 2, styling, font, and align to the center. Okay, and we're going to hover over here again, and we're going to look for maybe the gallery module. Upload files, select files, and I'm going to upload the images which I have cropped. All right, so gallery 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Open. And what I do recommend is cropping it beforehand as well. So you don't have to crop it to the same size that I have done, okay, 600 by 400 pixels in height. You can crop it to pretty much any size between, maybe I'd say 600 to 1000 in width to about, whatever height that you want, okay, because you don't really need that big of an image. Otherwise your site's going to load really slowly. But what I do recommend is making sure that each of these are the same size, right? So your gallery images should be all the same size, so that makes sure that everything is proportional. So add to gallery, update gallery. So I think I added these ones by mistake, so insert gallery again. I'm just gonna delete these ones. Update gallery. All right, so we've got 6 images. So we're gonna scroll down here and we're gonna change it to 3 columns like that, which is cool. So for the thumbnail width, okay, so how do you actually calculate the thumbnail width, right? So to calculate it, right, what I generally do is I actually divide the original image by 2 or 3, okay? And you want to do the same for the width and also same for the height. So if you actually divide the width by 2, so 600 divided by 2 equals 300, and you're going to make sure you do it the same for the height. So 400 divided by 2 equals 200, right? So if you do it like, let's say put 100, then it's not going to be cropped properly, right? So you want to make sure always to divide it by the same number for the width and the height, okay? Hopefully you guys know what I mean. So let's say if you divide 600, you divide that by 3, right? So 600 divided by 3 equals 200, and 400 divided by 3, I think that equals 133 or something similar like that, right? So that the image still looks really good and crisp, okay? But I'm gonna change it back to 300 by 200, oops. And then once you've done that, then you can click on done. All right, I'm also gonna add some padding below gallery. So go to styling, padding, and then maybe do 5% or something like that, right? And then I'm gonna add some padding to the row. Okay, so double click the row, styling, padding, okay, 5% to the top, and 5% to the bottom. Done. So what you can also do is you can actually zoom out a little bit like that. That makes it a lot easier to sort of see how the website looks, right? Everything looks good for now. I think maybe this is probably a bit too close to the title, so you can double click that and you can click on maybe enter. Do something like that. You know, add some spacing and then click on done. Okay, that might look a lot better. Now, if you actually want to add in maybe, let's say, a slider, you can do that. So you can drop in the slider module below that, and you can either slide your post, your images, or your video. You just need to browse library and upload it. Okay, so for your video, you can just put in a video URL, and that can be displayed in the slider. You can also do the same for text. So if you have like a testimonial or something like that, you can do that as well. Okay, you can also add in maybe a testimonial slider here. That looks something like this, and then you can add in a title, the content, and a picture of the person as well. Okay, so the next section we're going to create is the video section, right? So how do you actually add in a video? That is super simple. So just grab in the video, and here you want to grab your favorite YouTube URL. So I'm just gonna make sure that, okay, so you can just grab that URL there and then paste in the URL into there. Okay, just like that. And you can also set it to autoplay, but I'm just gonna leave it as that. Click on done. And the only thing I want to do is I want to add in a background, because I want to sort of separate each of the sections. Okay, so here we've got a hero image, we've got a white background, light gray, white background, and here I'm going to do a dark gray. So double click the row, click on styling, background color. I'm going to do maybe a dark gray, which is 222, which is cool. We might add a little bit of padding. Okay, so we might do, let's say, 5% to the top, 5% to the bottom. I think that is pretty good. Okay, and I think once you've done that, click on done. Let's bring it back to 100%. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. What you can also do is double click the row again, styling. You can do a row overlay. So a row overlay, you can actually overlay a different color as well. So if someone actually hovers over the row, you can set in an overlay hover color. So I might set in maybe, let's say, 111. Okay, so when someone hovers over that, right? So if you notice, if I actually hover over that, then it goes darker. Okay, so people can click on the video. Hold on, I'm going to save it first and close it. Then if someone actually, let's say they click and play the video, it's not working right now, but if they actually play the video, then they're sort of in a cinematic mode, right? Which is pretty cool. So the next section I'm going to show how to create is the blog section, right? So creating a blog, like for example, if you click into that, is really important because you can actually create content that people are actually searching for on Google, and that's going to drive traffic or awareness to your website. Okay, so that's why adding in blog posts is really important, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that, right? So before we can actually display the blog post, we need to actually add in the text, right? So to do that, you need to go back to your dashboard. So let's hover over post, and you can click on all posts. And if you actually click into this one here, so you can view it, and that is a hello world or a sample post. So you can go back, and we're going to delete this one and add some new ones. So first thing, we're going to click on trash, and then click on trash again and delete that permanently. Okay, and then click on add new. So here is where you're going to add the title of your blog post, right? And this is the body. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just grab some lorem ipsum and show you how to add in a blog post. So copy over the text and just paste in the text here. I'm going to grab the first few words as a title. Okay, here is the blog post, and if you actually want to link it to another website, then you can select the text and you can click on the insert link. And let's say you want to link it to Lorem Ipsum, copy the URL and paste it into here. Okay, you can also click on link options and select it to open up in a new tab. You can also select different pages on your website already, so this makes it a lot easier, but we don't have many blog posts or pages yet, so you're not going to see that, right? So we're going to click on update and that creates a link. So if you want to add in a video, you can just copy over the URL and then you can copy over that, and let's see if that works, and paste it into there. You can also scroll down. Let's say if you want to add an image, then you can click on add media and then you can select the image and add it in. Okay, so you can also click on the toggle toolbar and that's going to give you more options to change the colors and things like that. So I think you guys know how to edit this part. I think it's pretty similar to most word editors. So if we scroll down here, we're going to click on add new category. Let's say this category is called travel. Okay, so you can add that in. You can add some tags. You can also set in a featured image. So we're going to click on set featured image, upload files, select files, and I'm going to select blog number 1. I'm actually going to upload these 3 together right now. So click on open, select this image here, blog number 1, set featured image, and then once that is all done, we're going to click on publish. All right, so if we actually view the post, so let's open that in a new tab. Then this is your featured image, this is the title, text, link, video, and you can also add in an image here, and people can also leave a comment as well down here. All right, on the right hand side, this is the sidebar, so you might have your recent post, you might have a little picture of you, you might have your email opt-in or things like that. So I'm going to show you how to sort of configure this section later on. So what I'm going to do is add in 2 more blog posts, because if I don't, then I'm only going to have 1 post to display here, so it doesn't look very good. So we're going to quickly come back here and let's add in a new one. Okay, and then let's just grab some text. Let's just do this really quickly. So just paste that in here. Okay, and then set a new category, add category, set in a featured image. I'm going to set this one here and then publish. Okay, so let's view that post to make sure that's in. All good. You can also click on add from here, okay, the plus icon, and then click on post, and then that's the shortcut basically. All right, so copy over the text, paste in the text, paste in a title, add a new category, add new, and then you can set featured image, which is I think this one here, set featured image and publish. Okay, so once that is done, you can click on all post. So this is where you manage all your posts. Okay, so you can edit them, you can delete them as well. All right, so let's go back to our homepage and scroll down to the bottom. Okay, so what we can do is turn on the builder, and the first thing we want to do is maybe add in a text. So drag it up here, and then we're gonna just put blog, or you can put in a featured blog post or news or whatever you want. Set it to heading 2 and styling, go to fonts and align to the center. Okay, I also want to scroll down to padding, and I'm going to add 5% to the bottom. Okay, like that, so it adds spacing. Click on done, and then I'm going to hover over the green and I'm going to drop in a post module. So look for P, post module, drop it below there. Okay, so here you can select the layout. So depending on how many blog posts you have, you can select a different layout if you want. I'm going to select grid number 3, and I want to remove the summary of that, right? So you can actually change that by going to the display and changing the display to none. You can also display all the content as well, but I like to display none for my homepage. Otherwise it's just too much stuff. It makes it a lot simpler like this. And I want to remove the author, also the categories and comments as well. So here, scroll to hide post meta, select yes, and then that will disappear. Okay, so it's really that simple. You can also hide the post date if you want to and play around with the display settings. Here for the post content layout, you can actually select, different layouts, for example, overlay, which is cool. You can also select maybe boxed, okay, or maybe a flip, okay. That's pretty cool as well. I'm just going to select, default for now. All right. And you can also choose to, select specific categories or exclude certain categories as well. So we're going to click on done. And we want to add some padding to the row. So double click the row. It's just some empty space here. And then click on styling, padding. And let's do maybe 5% to the top and 5% to the bottom. Click on done. And then we can view the page by clicking on 50%. Okay, I think that is looking very, very awesome, very good. And what I want to do now is I actually want to create a contact section. So I'm going to add in a contact form so people can actually contact you and get in touch with you. So click on save. Here, you're going to notice that there is no contact module. So to add a contact form, we're going to have to close the builder first. And we'll have to go back to our dashboard. And we need to actually add in some plugins. So here, if we click on the plugins are sort of like applications which add extra functionality to our website. So for example, on your mobile phone, you might have, social media apps, or you might have productivity apps. You might have like accounting apps, budgeting apps, anything like that. Plugins are exactly the same thing, but for websites. And there are thousands and thousands of plugins, and we're going to add in a contact form plugin. So click on add new, and here on the search plugins, we're going to search for contact form 7. So this is just a really, really simple contact form plugin. There's also other ones that you can check out as well, but this is the one that I've been using for quite a long time. So we're going to just use this one, install, and then click on activate. Okay, so once you've actually activated, the contact will actually pop up on the left here, and then you can click on contact forms. All right, so this is the contact form number 1 that's been created, and here is the shortcode. So you can actually copy this shortcode to your clipboard and paste this code anywhere on your website by using a text module, and that contact form will pop up. Okay, but what you want to make sure is if you actually click on edit, you want to make sure that the email is set to your email address. So here you've got different tabs. You want to click on mail, and you want to make sure that you've put in the correct email address. Okay, so the contact form message will be sent to this email here. You can also configure, the messages as well here. You can also click and edit the form here. If you want to learn more, you can click on the support here. Okay, FAQ and docs. Okay, so once you've actually done that, you can click on save. And I'm going to go back to the home page, and I'm going to maybe delete some of these other pages. Okay, and then scroll down and turn on the builder. Let's drop in maybe a text module first. So drop it in. Let's put in contact, set it to heading 2. Okay, and then let's drop in another text module. And this time we're going to paste in the shortcode. So paste in the shortcode there, and then the contact form will pop up. All right, click on done. And what I want to do is I want to add some spacing to the top, add some spacing here. And I also want to sort of make this box a little bit smaller. All right. So what I'm going to do first is make the box smaller. So you can choose the different columns here. I might choose this one here. And I'm going to move the contact in there and also the contact form into there. Okay. Next, I'm going to double click the row, styling. So I'm going to add maybe some padding. So maybe 5% to the top, 5% to the bottom. And then next, I'm going to add some padding below contact. So double click contact, styling, padding. Okay. And then I'm going to select 5% to the bottom here. Click on done. All right, so I think I forgot to actually center everything. So I'm going to double click the row again and then go to styling, font, and align center. All right. So we want to actually separate the content here. So how we're going to do that, what I recommend is maybe putting in a background, okay, which looks really good. So let's double click the row again, go to styling, background, and for the background image here, we're going to click on browse library and upload files, select files, and I'm going to upload this one here, contact BG. All right, so click on insert file URL, and there you go. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. What I do want to do, maybe I want to actually set the background mode to parallax. Okay, so it's like that, which is really cool. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on row overlay, and then I'm going to add a little bit of black to that background. All right, so it makes the text pop out a little bit more. So let's just change the color to black. Okay, like that. And then you can change the opacity down on the right hand side. So I'm going to change it to about maybe 20%, or let's just say, yeah, 20% should be fine, like 0.2. All right, so you can also change and add a background hover as well if you want to. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the font color to white. Okay, so change it to white, and I think that looks pretty good. Let's just add in a overlay hover as well. So let's just change the color to black, so 000, and then I'm going to change it to 0.25. Okay, and then click on done. Okay, so I think that's pretty cool. When people hover over that, it becomes darker. And I'm going to show you how to edit the form button as well as the fields here. Okay, so we're going to click on save, and we're going to close it first. So let's just have a quick little look on our website. Okay, so everything looks pretty good. What I'm going to show you is actually how to add in a menu right now. Okay, so right now you don't have any pages. We've only got one page. But what I'm going to show you how to do is, if I actually go to the demo website, is if people click on the about, it's going to scroll to the about. If they click on services, it's going to scroll down, and so on. Okay, so to do that, we can go back here to customize, and then we're going to click on back, and then we're going to click on the menus, create a new menu, and the menu name is going to be top nav. So this can be any name that you want, but it's just easy for me to sort of identify. So we're going to click on main navigation, click on next, and we're going to add in some items, right? So you can click on add items, and then what we're going to do is click on custom links. And for the URL, what we're going to do is I'm going to copy everything before wp-admin. Okay, so this is your IP, and then 808. And then the WordPress, just copy that, except the WP admin. So copy that and paste it into here. Okay, and then what I want you to do is type in hash about, okay, in lowercase, the link text, put in about, and add to menu. All right, we're gonna paste in the URL again. The next one is hash, and this might be the services section. So services in lowercase, the link text should be services, add to menu. Okay, paste in the URL again. Hash, this might be a gallery. Okay, so lowercase, sorry. Add to menu, and paste it in again. The next one might be a blog. So hash, blog, link text, blog, add to menu, and paste in the URL again. Hash, contact in lowercase, and contact for the link text, add to menu. Okay, so once we've actually done that, then we can click on publish. As you can see, the menu has been added, right? We're going to click on close. Okay, so if we actually click on the about, it doesn't actually do anything. So if we click on these things, it doesn't do anything because we haven't set in the location name yet. All right, so we can turn on the builder. scroll down to About Me. Okay, so double click the row, and then here you'll say row anchor. Okay, so we're going to label this About in lowercase, and then click on Done. So it has to be lowercase, all right? So it has to be exactly the same as the name that you put in before, okay? Otherwise, it's not going to link properly, right? So if you put double click it, if you put like row anchor, it is like a capital A, then it's not going to link, right? So it has to be exactly the same as the one that you put in before. Click on Done. Okay, services, double click the row. Row anchor should be called services. Done. Scroll down to gallery, double click the row. Row anchor is gallery. Done. And the video, I don't really have a menu item on the top, so I'm going to leave it as is. And for the blog section, double click the row. Row anchor should be blog. Okay, done. And scroll down to the contact, double click the row. This one is going to be contact. And then click on Done. So let's save it and let's close it. All right, so if we click on the About, it's going to actually scroll down, click on Services, Gallery, Blog, and Contact. Okay, so you're going to see the URL actually change, right? And that's going to link it to each of the sections. So with the actual button here, our story, we've actually linked it to our About section as well. All right, so if we turn on the builder, if we double click the button, you'll see that the link is #about, so that links it together. All right, so we're going to click on save. Now the next thing that we're going to do is, before we actually customize the footer section, is we want to make sure that our page is actually 100% mobile responsive. So to do that, you can actually just drag in your window and make it as small as you can. Okay, so you can scroll down. As you can see, the text here, it's a bit too big. Okay, so we're going to make that a little bit smaller for mobile devices. And you're also going to see that, this one doesn't really look that great, right? Scrolling down, most of the stuff is actually okay. Okay, most of the stuff will respond perfectly, but sometimes we might need to edit the layout. So we're going to make that bigger again. And put that back. All right, so we're going to turn on the builder. And to do that, here you've got actually the responsive styling buttons. So you can change the different layout and different sizes for the tablet landscape, for the tablet, and for the mobile. But we're just going to edit the mobile, okay? That's the most important one. So select mobile. And the first thing that we want to do is we want to arrange the layout here to something that looks better, right? So to do that, you can hover over the row, the purple, okay? And then you can change the column to just one column. And basically that's going to display the image on top like that, okay? You might want to actually change the ordering. So hover over here, change the column direction to the second one. Okay, so you've got the text there, and then you've got the image here. Okay, so if you want to make the image in the center, you might want to double click the image and maybe select image center. Okay, so select that and then click on Done. And let's see what we can do here. We're going to go up here, change the text size. So double click here, go to styling. So make sure the mobile icon is selected. Go to heading 1. And we're going to change the font size to maybe 80 pixels, right? And then click on Done. So what happens is, if we actually double click the text again, go to styling, if we actually select the the desktop, and click on the heading, you'll see that the heading font is 100 pixels. So when you click on the mobile, it's going to change to 80, right? So if you click on the tablet, you can change this to maybe, let's say for example, 90. Okay, so you can set in specific sizes and specific layouts for each specific device, right? So you definitely sometimes you need to sort of play around and experiment a little bit to make the perfect layout for each of the devices. But that's how you can do it. And another cool thing is that sometimes you might not want things to appear on mobile devices because you don't want to have too much content on mobile devices, otherwise it's gonna take a long time to load. You can actually change the visibility settings, right? So let's just say you don't want the this section, this video, to appear. Okay, this whole entire row. You can actually go over here. Okay, move to the last icon here, and then click on visibility. You can set the visibility, so you can hide this entire section on mobiles. You can also hide it on tablet or hide it on desktop. So you can set in the visibility for each of these different sections as well. So if you click on hide, let's just save it, close it. Let's try to resize the screen to maybe mobile device. I think that video is gone. Okay, so that video is gone. Let's just move it back to normal size. Okay, and then back on desktop, the video will appear. All right, so that is how to make the website super mobile responsive. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add in some social links and show you how to customize your footer section. Okay, so let's go here to the dashboard, and I'm just going to pause the video and open up some of my social profiles. So let's go to Themify Ultra, Themify Settings, and we're going to go to social links. Okay, so what you want to do is copy over your Twitter profile URL. So you can grab your Twitter profile URL and paste that into here. You can grab your Facebook one, so your Facebook page URL, copy that, paste it into here. If you have Google Plus, you can paste in the URL as well. For example, your YouTube channel URL, so copy that and paste it into here. If you have Pinterest, you can paste in Pinterest, but maybe let's say you have Instagram, but you don't see it here. You can click on the add link and type in, let's say, Instagram. And we're going to put in maybe the Instagram URL. So let's just type in the URL, https instagram.com, and then / your URL. Okay, so here we're going to insert an icon, so insert icon. We're going to search for Instagram, so Insta, and select that one there, and then we can save it. Okay, so to actually display it on our website, we actually need to go to Appearance and go to Widgets. Scroll down, so these are the available widgets, so scroll down to Themify Social Links, click it and drag it and sort of wiggle it up. All right, so put it into maybe the footer social widget section. Okay, select open link in a new window. Icon size, I'm going to keep it as medium, and save. Okay, so if we actually, let's say we view the website again, then you're going to see your social links appear on the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to remove this because I think that's a little bit annoying. You probably don't want it to say powered by WordPress. So to remove that, you can go back to your dashboard area, go to Themify Ultra, Themify Settings. And then what you want to do is you want to look for theme settings, okay? And then scroll down to footer text, all right? And for the footer text too, you want to hide that, okay? And save. So if we refresh that again, then it's going to disappear, hopefully, all right? You can also remove the logo if you want to as well. So if you go back to theme appearance, you can change your footer designs as well, okay? So as you can see in these footer designs, you're gonna see like the little white, little gray boxes, okay? So these are different widget areas, right? So if you wanna have maybe like, let's say different menus and different things here, then you can actually go back to the appearance, the widget area, and we've got the footer widget area 1, 2, and 3, and you can drop in anything that you want. Like for example, you might want to add an image, you might want to add a search bar, you might want to add some text. Like for example, if you're a local business, you might want to have your address and you might put it into there. Okay, so you've also got, I think you can also create a menu. So you can drop in, I think there's a menu, so look for navigation menu, and then you can drop that into here as well. Okay, so if you actually want to configure the sidebar and the blog sidebar, so if we go back to our, so if we click into one of the blog posts, this is the sidebar, right? And these are the widgets which are in there. I'm going to delete the meta, so delete that one. You can keep the categories, archive, I'm going to delete, recent comments, delete, recent posts, delete. Okay, I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to drag in maybe a, let's see, Themify featured post. Paste it in, and this one might be like popular posts. Okay, and then you can also set in a post thumbnail as well. I'm just going to click on save, click on done. You might want to add some text, so let's just say maybe a text, so about me, and then you can add in you know, maybe a little bit about yourself. So I'm just going to paste in some random text to show you. Okay, save it. You can also add in, I think, a image or a video as well. So we're going to go back here, and let's say if we refresh it, then here. Okay, so that's how you edit the sidebar section. All right, so now what we're going to show you is how to add in additional pages, and I'll show you something really cool as well. So let's just close some of these things on the top. So what if you actually want to add in an actual page rather than, you know, just a single page? So you can hover over plus here and click on page. So let's say we create a web design page. So oops, just delete that. Web design page, click on publish, click on view page. So this is basically a blank page, and then you can build, you know, your layout and stuff like that. So you can actually turn on the builder, and you can actually import layouts which are pre-built. So if you actually hover over here, you can click on load layout, and there are a few dozen different layouts which you can definitely import and use. So let's just say you might want to add this one here. Click on append. So this is going to help you sort of speed up the process of website building. If you don't want to show certain areas, you might want to delete it. So you might delete this menu area here. So I think we can just delete that row like that. Okay, you can double click it, the text module, let's just say web design. You can change it like that, and you can change the text by double clicking. So you can change the image as well, add in different images and delete different sections as well. But I showed you sort of how to create the layout. So now that you know how to do it, it's probably better. Otherwise, if I showed you this at first, then you probably won't know how to edit the page, and it's sort of, I think you won't really enjoy it, right? So what you can do is do that, but you can also hover over the green icon here, click on that. You can click on rows, and you can import specific sections, right? So let's say you want to add this call to action, just drop it into there. I think that didn't really work, did it? Okay, so that didn't really work. So let's just try again. Click that, and let's see if drop it into there. Let's zoom out a little bit, and then that just imports a specific section. Okay, so you can do that, and then you can click on save, right? So let's just say we close it, right? You're not gonna see it on the top menu section up here, right? So to do that, go to customize, and click on back here, click on menus, and click on the top nav if you want to display it here. Click on add items, and here this is an actual page, so you don't have to create a custom link. Just create and add the web design page, and it's going to show up on the top. Okay, so if we, let's say, publish that, then it's going to display there. If you want to create it to be a drop down, like it drops down from services, then you can click it and sort of drag it and indent it below services. So what that's going to do is if you hover over services, it's going to drop down like that. All right. So you can even drop down like even further. Like let's say you want to drop down gallery from web design, you can do that as well. Okay. So I'm going to put that back, and then publish and close it. And something that's really important as well is I'm going to show you how to actually save layouts. So if we go back to our home page, let's turn on the builder again. And sometimes you might make a mistake or whatever you might be doing, you might accidentally delete something. What I do recommend is once you create and finish a page or a section, then you can actually click on the down arrow here, save as revision. So let's say we completed our homepage on today's November the 7th. Okay, click on OK, and that's going to save this page layout, right? So if you make a mistake, then you can load the revision from that specific time frame, right? So I think that's pretty cool. You can also undo and redo, which I showed you before, and you can also save the entire layout. So you can save the entire layout, homepage, done, save it, and then we can close it. You can actually go here, turn on the builder, load layout, and then you've got your custom one, okay? So you can load your layout on specific pages as well, okay? So I think that is pretty much it for the building part. Now I'm going to show you how to add in your logos, your favicon, and how to customize the color for your website, okay? Okay, so if you actually want to add a logo, then click on the customize. And then that's going to take you to Themify options. Click on the advanced tab, so it's going to show a lot more options here. You can click on site logo and tagline, click on site logo, and here if you don't have a logo yet, then you might set a site title for now. So you can name it your name or your brand's name. I'm just going to put in logo, and here you can select, different fonts as well. All right, so you can look through the different fonts and choose one for the time being. You can change the size here, and you can also change the font weight. Okay, so you want to make it a little bit thinner, or you want to make it a little bit bolder. All right, so if you do have a logo ready, you can click on logo image, and then you can click on the plus icon and actually upload files, select files, and then you can upload your logo. All right, so with your logo, what I do recommend is a PNG file. So that means that logo is transparent. And if you actually want to get a logo, then a really good place to start is going to fiverr.com. So I'm going to leave a link down below, and that's going to take you to this website here, and you can find logos starting from $10. So I think some of them might be a little bit more expensive. Some of them I think you can find for $5 as well. So make sure to read over the reviews. And when you're actually creating a logo, right, you can also ask for a favicon. So a favicon is basically like a smaller version of a logo, so which is the icon here, as you can see. That's my one. This is Fiverr's favicon. Okay, and once you actually uploaded a logo, you can actually edit the sizing here, right? So you can change the sizing to fit this area, right? So upload the thing, and then you can change the size. You can also change the logo position. Okay, so you can set it to, I believe, is relative, and then you can move the logo up and down. You can do minus like 10 pixels or something like that, and then you can move it wherever you like. Okay, so let's just minus that, and you can also add in a site tagline if you do have one. I'm gonna select site title, and maybe I'm gonna select Open Sans, okay, which is the default font on this website, and I'm gonna select maybe bold. Okay, and then you can publish, right? So to add in a favicon, I'm going to show you that right now. So let's just close that for now, and you can go to your dashboard area, and then what you want to do is hover over Themify Ultra, Themify Settings, and you can click on the favicon here in the General tab, Upload, and you can select the favicon. So for the favicon size, I normally recommend sort of like a square dimension. So the one that I'm uploading is 64 times 64 pixels, okay, and it's also a PNG. Open, and then you can save it. And then if you go back to visit your website, then the logo should show up there, your favicon. All right, so I'm going to show you how to edit the fonts and colors for each of the sections, right? So we're going to click on customize, and here we're going to click on body. Okay, so body is going to edit all the font between the header and also the footer, right? So if you actually change, let's say the body font to, let's say maybe this one here, then that's going to change, right? So what I do recommend is just selecting one font for your entire website, because you don't really need that many fonts to make your website look good. So I think that's a big misconception. I've seen a lot of people actually build a website and they have, 3 or 4 different, fonts, and it looks kind of messy, right? So if you actually go to a website like Apple or, Google's website, you notice that they are very consistent with the fonts they use. So I'm going to use this Chrome extension. It's called What Font. And if you hover over the fonts, it's going to tell you what font each of the text is. All right. And what you're going to notice is they are pretty much using the same font, but what they're doing is they are changing the font weight, right? So the font weight means like the boldness and the thinness. Okay. So this one's bold, this one's a little bit thinner and smaller in text, right? So that's what I recommend, using different font weights to sort of bring attention to your titles and things like that, rather than actually changing to like italic or a different font. All right. So here for your font, body font, I'm going to select Open Sans, right? So Open Sans is a really good Google font, and Open Sans is something that we call sans serif typeface, right? So I think it's really important to understand this, because if you choose like a different typeface, like for example, a serif typeface, it's going to look a lot different. Okay, so sans serif typeface has like plain edges and the strokes are even, and that sort of makes your website look really modern and clean, right? So most modern websites actually use a sans serif typeface. Like Google, Tesla, Apple, they use the sans serif typeface. So some really good ones to start off with is these ones here. Okay, and you can choose these ones to use for your website if you don't know what to use. The serif typeface, it makes it look a lot more traditional and sort of has a classic look to it, right? So this is good for long reading and blogs as well. So if you click on an example, for example, this one here, then you're going to notice that they use the serif typeface, right? And it just looks like completely different, right? This one really suits this website because it's selling like, bed linen and stuff like that. So you got to really take into account like what your brand and your business is about. Then you can select the right typeface for your website. Okay, so here I'm just going to select Open Sans, and as you can see, the font weight is 300, right? If I select it to be normal, it's going to be a little bit thicker, but if you actually select something thinner, it's going to make the website look really modern as well. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay. And for the body link, this is the links on your website, and you can change the color as well. All right. So generally, the normal link color is like the blue, right? So if you notice, like on a lot of websites, the link color is blue, right? So you can use this blue if you want to, and put it onto your website. But for our website, I'm gonna select a more sort of neutral sort of look to it. Okay. And let's just say we click into this blog post. I think this one was the first one we added. All right, and here's the link. Okay, so currently it's red, right? So you can change it to a blue, and if you want to know like what color blue they're using, you can also use something called Colorzilla as a Chrome extension as well. And I think you can try to click into that, see if it actually shows up. Okay, so this is the color code here, right? So you can do 0070C9. Okay, so let's just say 0070C9. So that's essentially the same blue that Apple uses, right? So you can choose that if you want to, or for me, I'm just going to keep it like really neutral, just a black one, just a little bit darker than what I'm currently using for my text. Okay. And the body link hover is when you actually hover over it, right? So you're going to change a specific color. Okay. So for example, if you hover over, I think certain items, for example, the Apple website, you see a really subtle effect. Okay. Okay. This one, I think it goes a little bit darker. Okay. I think it does. But definitely when you hover over here, it goes a little bit darker as well. So that's showing you that it's a link. Okay, so what I generally like to do is go to a website called 0 to 255.com. And then what I do is enter in a color. So the color of my link is the dark gray. And what I like to do is either you can go like, 2 shades darker, or maybe, 3 shades lighter or something like that. So I'm going to select 3 shades lighter for this one and just paste that in. Okay, so for all body hover effects, I'm going to use this same color. So it keeps everything really consistent. Okay, so it's just a really light and subtle effect. You can make it a little bit lighter if you want to as well. So let's just say this one here, 444. Then you can see that when people hover over it, then it gives a nice subtle effect and show that it's a link, right? So once you've done that, then we can minimize it, and we're going to go to headings, right? So if we actually go back to our homepage, we've set this one to heading 1 tag, these ones to heading 2. So if you click on headings, you can actually change the defaults of it. Okay, so I'm going to leave that to you. For the forms are things such as your contact forms and also your comment forms as well. Okay, so I'm going to open that. Okay, so it also affects the forms area here as well. Okay, so if you actually want to change, let's say this thing here, then you can click on form fields. You can change the background color. Okay, so the background color, let's just change that to white. You can change that to any color, and then we're gonna move the opacity down. Okay, so that sort of makes it look a lot cooler. Okay, so we're gonna change it to maybe like 80% fine, like that, 80% opacity. You can still see the background a little bit. Okay, and the color here is the text color, so I'm going to change it to 222, make it a little bit darker. Okay, that's pretty cool. I might make it a little bit lighter. All right, and here you can change the fonts and everything, but we want to keep everything just one font, so you don't really need to change it here. And I think that is pretty good. So you can also change it to align in the center. Okay, so it straight away enters the text into the center. Okay. And here you can also change the button color, right? So you can click on form buttons. You can change the background color. I'm going to change it to 222. Okay, so a dark gray. Okay, and then for the button hover, I'm going to change that to, so click on here and then change the button background hover to, let's say 444. And when you hover over that, then it gives a slight effect like that. And then here you can click on the header. The header wrap is basically the background color, right? So what I recommend is keeping the background color of your header to either a white or a dark gray, right? So if you actually change, let's say, you change it to a random, like a red color, right? Like that, then it's sort of going to be hard to match with your hero image, right? So this is basically similar to, like, let's say if you're wearing like a white t-shirt or something like that, then you're going to sort of find it hard to match. If let's say you're wearing a red t-shirt, like it's going to be hard to match your pants, right? So if you're wearing like a white t-shirt or maybe a dark t-shirt, then you can wear any color pants or any color shoes and it'll still look good, right? So if we actually change it to white, then it looks good. If you change it to, let's say, a dark gray, let's say 222 again, then it still looks very good, right? So let's just say we keep that as that, okay? And you can also change the header links, okay? The header link colors here, header link hover. But what we have here is our main navigation, right? So the site logo, I think that might be a header link. So let's just change that to white anyway, okay? And you can also set in a header link hover, okay? We're gonna click on the sticky header. Sticky header is when you actually scroll down, okay? So that's the sticky. So sticky header wrap, I'm gonna set it to 222 as well. But I might make it a little bit transparent like that, so it scrolls down and you can still sort of see the background, which is, I think, pretty cool, right? Like that, which is cool. And then you can change the colors as well. So scrolling down, click on the main navigation. Okay, so this is the main navigation area. And you want to click on, you can change the menu link here as well to, let's say, white. Okay. and the menu link hover when you're hovering over that. Okay, so I'm going to change that to a light gray, so EEE. Okay, so let's just see the effect. So you can't really see it, so you might make it a little bit darker, maybe like something like that. Okay, I think you can see it now, which is pretty cool. Okay, you can also change the active link color. So whatever page that you're on or whatever section you're on, that's the active link. So you can change the active link color to the same hover color. Okay, so copy that and paste that into here. Don't paste it into background, okay, paste it into here. Then it gives a light gray effect. So it tells you, you know, what section you're on, right? And you can also set the active link hover as well. This one, I'm gonna set that back to white. And if you have a drop-down menu, then you can also edit the drop-down link color as well. So drop-down link hover is white right now, so I might change it to, let's say, just a dark gray. Let's try maybe 444. Okay, let's click on publish and then close that first to make sure that is, you know, that works. Okay, it's probably a little bit too light, so I'm gonna go back and make it a little bit darker. So let's go to the main navigation, the menu, actually the drop down link hover, probably too dark, too light, sorry, so make it maybe something like that. Okay, hopefully that one, okay, doesn't update yet, so don't worry, just click on publish and that will change later. So you can also edit the mobile menu as well. So you can edit the colors here. You can play around with the settings. I'm just going to leave it right now. You can do that by yourself. So here you can also edit the post. Okay, so for your blog post, you can edit the post titles and everything that you need, basically, right? The post dates. Yeah, okay. So let's just make that smaller. And then you can also edit the sidebar section as well. So here is the sidebar section. You can edit the fonts and the colors here. Okay, and lastly is the footer section. So this is the footer section. You can also change the footer wrap color, change the logo as well specifically. Okay, you might select none like that. Okay, and yeah, you can play around with all these different color settings and things like that. But generally, I just like to keep it nice and neutral and professional because you don't really need that many colors to make it nice. Okay, so here you can click on custom CSS. Now custom CSS is basically you can edit the styling. Like for example, sometimes you can't change the styling with the builder. You'll need to add some custom CSS to edit the website. Okay, so if you actually see on the website, on the footer, there's like a slight border, and there's also a slight border for the header section as well. So to show you what I mean is, I'm going to show you some CSS. So do hash, type in header wrap, okay, and then space, and then go shift the square bracket, squiggly bracket, and then hit on enter, and then type in border, and then this one is the colon, I think, and then here type in none, semicolon. Okay, that's going to remove the border on the top, right? So here, put your thing there, cursor, and then click on enter, and then type in hash footer wrap, and then the squiggly brackets again, enter, border, colon, none, and then semicolon, and then that border will be gone. Right? So for example, that's there, and if you type in none, it's going to disappear. Okay, so that's custom CSS, and you can click on publish, and then what you can do is close. Okay, so here this website looks really, really cool and really, really modern. Okay, and let's just say if you want to maybe add a transparent header, like what would you do? Right, to add in a transparent header, normally I don't recommend changing it for your entire website, because sometimes you're not going to have a hero image. Like for example, if you click into a blog post, if you have a transparent header, then you're not going to be able to see the header links and stuff like that, right? So if we go back here, I normally just set it maybe for my homepage. Click on edit page. And what you could do is, let's say, scrolling down, you can do the Themify custom panel, page appearance. Okay, header background type, transparent. And then you can set a specific link color. Okay, for sometimes you might have a background color which is maybe like lighter or darker, and you might need to change the color there. So if we go back to view the page, let's see. Then we've got a really nice transparent header, right? And if you want to boost it a little bit more, like, it's not very visible, then you can either go to the customize and maybe change the font weight for your header section, or you can also add in a slight background color. So main navigation, and then for the menu link, let's just change that to a normal font weight. Okay, let's make sure to set in the Open Sans font. Change it to normal, okay? And that's gonna boost your menu navigation to make it a little bit bolder, all right? Or you can go turn on Builder, and you can add a gradient to the background. So double click the background, styling, do a row overlay, select gradient, all right? And here you wanna select a black background and reduce it to 50%, okay? And let's try and drag this up to about 15% here and set the opacity down to 0. All right, so what that's gonna do is gonna make this part darker on the top, okay? Done, save it, close it, and that's a really nice effect, right? So it makes this top part darker and it boosts the white a little bit more, and you're able to see it better. Okay, so I think there's a little mistake there, but I think you guys know how to fix that. You just need to go back to the customize to the menu drop down. All right, so basically we've completed the website. Congratulations. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. But right now, this website is only viewable on your computer, right? You want to make sure that your website is online, so maybe your friends can see it. People all around the world can actually see it. So what we need is actually to get a domain and hosting account, and then also we need to transfer this website onto the live hosting account. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do it right now. So to get our hosting, we're going to go to a website called hostgator.com, and we can also get our domain name here as well. So our website hosting is basically where our website files, like such as our images and text, are stored. So it's basically like a virtual piece of land on the internet, and so that allows people to actually access your website. And for your domain name, that is basically your website address. That is what people type in here, and that's going to take them to your website. Okay, so HostGator is the service that I use, so that's why I recommend them. And they've also got really good live chat support. So if you have any issues, you can click on the live chat here and get in touch with them. So I'm going to explain a little bit, what plan you should actually get. I normally recommend for a beginner to get the web hosting plan. There's other plans such as the cloud hosting, which is also good, and also the dedicated hosting as well. So as a beginner, I recommend this one. Okay, if you actually start getting more traffic to your website, then I would recommend upgrading to the cloud hosting plans. Right, so we're going to click into the first results. And within the shared hosting plans, there's another 3 different plans, right? So the business plan is probably a little bit too much for what you need at the moment if it's your first website. Okay, so as you can see, it's $6 per month, but that normally renews at a higher rate. Okay, so for these 2 plans here, the only difference is that this one only hosts one domain, so yourwebsite.com, whereas the baby plan can have your website, your friend's website, and maybe your client's website as well. Okay, so if you know that you're gonna host other sites as well, then I would go for the baby plan. Okay, but for this one, for this tutorial, I'm just gonna click on the single hatchling plan. Okay, and then here is where you're gonna enter in your domain name. So for example, I'm gonna choose something like The Creative Way, and then you can click on the outside here to see if it's available. Okay, so if it's not available, then it's going to be highlighted in red. okay? And these are the available ones, right? But I normally like to go for the .com, okay? Because that's what most people actually type in their browser. But you can definitely go for something like info or .me. That's totally up to you. So I might do like the creative way demo, click on the outside, and then, you know, that's selected, all right? So if you already have a domain, so for example, you might have bought a domain on GoDaddy or Namecheap and you don't have hosting yet, then I would select I already own this domain and enter in your domain name in here, okay? And then you'll have to actually connect them to later on, okay? So we're gonna scroll down here. So for the domain privacy, that basically means it hides your name and also your address and also contact details. So it really protects you from like email spam and junk mail and also people calling you. So I normally recommend it, but it's not necessary, okay? So it's gonna add a little bit more, but you're gonna get less spam. Okay, so we're gonna scroll down here to choose a hosting plan, and the package type, we're gonna select Hatchling. Here you can select the billing cycle, okay? So the longer you actually select, the more you're gonna save, right? So I normally recommend 12 months, right? Because if you actually go month to month, then it's $11, whereas if you go 12 months, then it's only $6 per month, okay? So here, enter in a username and also security pin. So I've already got an account. Actually, I got several accounts. So I'm not gonna actually fill this in and pay because otherwise, you know, I've got too many accounts already. But you need to actually fill in the details here as well as your credit card details. So make sure that the name here is the same for your credit card. You can also pay via PayPal, and you can scroll down here, and SSL certificates included for free, okay? For the site locker monitoring, I normally deselect that because you can actually secure your website using a few plugins, okay? I've got a tutorial on my channel for that. And for an email, I've got a tutorial on my channel as well. So backup, I've also got a tutorial as well. We're gonna scroll down here. Here you can actually enter in a coupon code, Hogan Chua, so HOGAN-CHUA, and click on validate. And that's gonna give you a bigger discount. So if you actually do use that code, then I may actually get a commission for that, but you guys actually save some money as well, and it actually helps support this channel. So that's greatly appreciated, right? So here is the total cost, okay? $90, so that comes to about $8 or $9 a month, which is pretty good for starting a website. Here you can select on this, so that is all good. Once that is all good, you can click on checkout now. So once you've actually completed the checkout, then within a minute you should receive your HostGator account information, okay? And the email should look something like this. So what you want to look for is your control panel login link, okay? So just click into that, and you'll need your username and also your password to log into your cPanel. All right, and then click on login. So this is where we're going to actually install WordPress onto the actual website that we just bought. All right, it's basically going to connect your domain, your hosting, and your WordPress all in one. Okay, so here you'll need to select build a new WordPress website. If you don't see it, then try to look for quick install. So scroll down and click on quick install, and then you can click on WordPress. All right, so I'm just going to click on this one, build a new WordPress website. And here I'm going to select a domain. So I've got several domains. I'm going to select this one here and leave the directory part empty. Okay, so you don't want anything here. Click on next. So blog title, just enter in a random one for now. Put in a username and put in your first name, last name, and also your email address. Okay, so for your username and also your email, that's going to change to the old one after we actually import the website. Okay, so try to keep them the same one. Okay, so you remember your username and email. Click on install, and then that's going to take a minute or two. Okay, so that's completed. Now, if you actually click onto this website here, it might not actually be up yet. So if you've just bought your domain and hosting, it might be setting up in the background. So it might take like 15-20 minutes, sometimes 1 or 2 hours. So maybe if it's not up, then take a little break and then come back. But since I've actually purchased this a while back, then it should be up. So I'm going to copy over the password and then you can actually click on login or the URL. So let's try login. Okay, so put in your username and also paste in your password and then click on login. So you should also be sent the login credentials as well if you accidentally didn't paste it. Okay, so we're going to close all of this stuff here. We don't need all of this. Okay, so if we actually visit our WordPress website now, then it's going to look like the one that we just created on our local server. All right, so what we need to do is actually transfer it onto this website right now. So that's only going to take a few minutes. So make sure to follow along and you're going to be up and running in just like 5 minutes. Okay, so if we actually go back to our old website, okay, so this should be on your local computer. All right, and you're going to make sure that you've actually got the Themify WordPress on. Okay, so you can manage servers and make sure it's actually running. Okay, so if we actually go back to the folder that we installed it in, you're going to make sure you double click on the manager-OS X. Okay, it might be different on Windows, but it should be pretty similar. Double click on it and this should open up, and make sure to start all the servers. All right, otherwise this website's not going to be up. All right, so we're going to actually log into our old website by typing in wp-admin. All right, so log in. Okay, so what I want you to make sure is that you go to users and make sure you actually click on edit here and make sure that your email is actually correct. Okay, so in case you forget your password, then you can use your email to actually get your password back, or make sure to actually generate a new password if you forgot your password, because on our new website here, we're going to be using the old password to log in. All right, so what we need to do is go to plugins, and here you should see all-in-one WP migration. So it should already be installed but not activated yet. If you don't see it, then click on add new. Okay, and then you'll actually need to search for that plugin. So you would type in all-in-one WP, click on enter, and then you'll need to download, and then once that is downloaded and installed, then you need to click on activate. All right, so here is the plugin. All right, and we need to export this website. So click on export, and what you need to do is hover over or click on export and export to file, and that's going to download the website into a file. Okay, and once completed, click on download and just save that file onto your desktop. Okay, and then you can close that. Right, so now what you need to do is you need to go back to your new WordPress website on your new domain, and we need to actually download the same plugin. So click on plugin, click on add new, and then here we're going to search for all-in-one WP. Okay, so this one here, click on install now, and then click on activate. All right, so here it should appear, and then instead of export, we've got to import. So click on import. Okay, so before we actually import from file, sometimes the maximum upload file limit might be set to 64, and sometimes your site might be bigger than that. Okay, so what I recommend is clicking on this, and that's going to open up another window. Okay, and we're going to install a plugin. So you can actually increase the maximum upload size by doing these few things here, but I think the easiest one for us is to actually use a plugin. So click into that and just download that onto your desktop. Okay, and come back here, and then we're going to click on add new on the plugins, and then we're going to upload that plugin. Right, so upload, choose file. Okay, select this one here, and then click on open, install now, activate. All right, once that is activated, then you can go back here and click on import, and your maximum file size to upload should be extended to 512, so that should be plenty. Okay, so click on import from file, and we're going to select the file that we downloaded before. Okay, and then click on open, and that's probably going to take a few minutes, so I'm going to let that run in the background and I'm going to come back.
2,000 years later.
So that took a little while because my upload speeds are quite slow in Australia. But anyways, we're going to click on proceed, and that's going to override the current website. Okay, and then we can click on close. Right, so if you actually refresh it now, then you'll have to log in again using your old username and old password. So make sure that is done. Click on login. All right, and I'm going to close all of that. Let's click on visit website, and your website should be up and running. All right, so that looks really, really good, really awesome. For some reason, if your website background image isn't showing, okay, just for some reason, turn on the builder again and try to delete that hero image. So you can actually just double click it, styling, background, delete this hero image and click on browse library and try to upload it again onto your website. Okay, that's in case if it doesn't work, but generally it should work fine, but just a precaution. All right, so I'm going to close it, and if you actually got your domain from HostGator and hosting, then you should have also got the SSL certificate. So I'm going to show you how to activate that, and that's going to give you the secure lock icon on your browser on the top there. So go to plugins, and click on add new. Okay, we're going to search for really simple SSL, click on enter. Okay, we're going to install this one. Okay, should have over 1 million active installations. Activate it. Okay, and then click go ahead and activate SSL. Okay, so you're going to make sure that you do have the SSL certificate if you bought it from like another domain, another host. So if you actually refresh it, then it's probably going to ask you to re-log in as well. So we're going to do that. Okay, so you should get the HTTPS with the lock icon. All right, so make sure that it does have the lock icon. Again, if it doesn't show it, it shows like a little eye icon, and then you might need to turn on the builder and re-upload the images, and then it should be fine. Anyways, my name is Hogan, and congratulations on your first website, or it might be your second website. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it and found a lot of value. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. I'm also going to actually put, the FAQ questions and stuff like that in the description below. And if I actually create any videos that I think are useful and any links, I'm going to drop it in the description down below. So make sure to check that out. If you have any questions, drop it in the comment section and I'll get back to you ASAP. Thank you and see you guys in the next video.